This is a Motomaster floor jack, 3-ton capacity, and I'm fixing it today. I got some dirt into an area over here where it doesn't really belong. I didn't realize that they were so important to not get rust and dirt and stuff like that in particular areas, so I'll tell you about that. Other than the fact that I'm repairing this today, I believe it's user error, like I said, just me getting dirt where it doesn't belong. But other than that, I highly recommend this one. It's a low profile jack, meaning that it starts at a low height. You can get it underneath a truck that's or parts that are lower to the ground. This is a hybrid one, which means it's a mix of different metals, so it's lighter than the other really heavy beasts, and it has the handle that goes up in here, which is in two parts. Anyways, so what was happening for me was, this is a piston right here, and there's a little spring that returns it back up to the top. This one's taken out. This one's a larger diameter piston than this one on this side. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're familiar with how this whole thing works. But anyways, this is where the handle goes into, and I don't really want to move it up and down right now because I've got this one out and there's oil at the top level right here. But this rolls down and pushes on the top of this and compresses it when the handle is going back and forth. So you can do a couple things to start doing this repair, because this has to get out of the way of pulling this out. So you could take this whole handle off and try and move it out of the way, but I wanted to leave the handle on there for pumping action, whatever. The other way to get it off is the plate right here has 4 Phillips screws, so it's just a Phillips screwdriver. And it's pretty attached in there really well, so actually I had to flip this whole thing upside down and then take a screwdriver and just from the back side, just tap it to get it to come out while it was upside down. This bar too is not easy to get out, although you think it would be. The purpose of this bar is just to make sure that this handle doesn't flop further forward while you're using it. It doesn't need to go any further than straight up and down. So if you take this bar out, and I used this 3/16 bit with a socket drive on it to get in right here where it's being held in on both sides. It seems like it was a little small, so maybe it's the other size. I guess this is imperial and it was metric that was needed, something like that. Anyways, 3/16 will do. So with that being out, this bar also is not easy to get out because it's pretty much fiction fit in there. So if you take a chisel or some wedge and you just start wedging right here, you'll wedge one side up and it'll come all the way out, and then you can pull it off. So yeah, and it has these little clips that hold in at 2 on either side. This one's not on there right now, but so that's that. These clips. So back to what I believe is causing the problem with this is, as you can see, a little bit of oil will come out. and I guess if it came out, it's best to put it back in. That right there is what I'm assuming, and is the oil fill. The oil fill and the bleed port is exactly the same thing. So that's where you put in the oil, and that's where you unloosen it to bleed the air out of the jack. As it says right here in all these things, it says do not touch, do not adjust, and it's not necessary. Back to here. So problem was, I have some advice also. The handle that goes in here, obviously taken in and out, I had some dirt at the bottom of the handle, so don't place this handle in the dirt. So this is what goes into there. If you own this, I'm just saying stupid stuff, but at the bottom of it, there's that hole. Don't put it in the ground and let dirt get into it, because then you're gonna go put it in here, use it, and then it will find its way to drop down through the hole right here, and it'll get on this shaft in here, and that's what's caused the problem. Is that, you know, this has a bit of grease on it, that sort of thing. This shaft, this piston pulls out of this assembly. This can stay here, this bottom. That can stay in there, or you could take it out if you need to go that further. Of course, then all the oil out of the machine would have to come out first. But, you know, you can just grab onto that and take it off. But, so, in my opinion on mine, it's just the dirt that's on the piston getting lodged in this area right here. And so what was happening on this one is it wasn't coming all the way back up, I guess because the dirt was stopping it in there. So I've taken it out. I don't even know where I put it right now. There's the spring. This is it. So that's how it goes in there, those black bits. The seals are at the bottom. Sorry about the noise. So, and just to let you know, once this is out of the way, once you've got this thing forward, you have access to pulling this out. So just to let you know, it's as easy as taking this thing and pulling it out with your hand. Of course, it had the spring around it first, so, and then putting it back in is just gonna be the same thing. You just wanna, I'm gonna take some grease that I have for my brakes that's designed not to swell seals and that sort of stuff. And of course, the oil is not meant to get past these two seals, right? So the oil that's inside of there should always be from here and down. So that oil shouldn't mix up here, because of course the seal is designed that way. So, but anyways, the other thing is, of course, so I did find gunk on this thing. So there was a bit of dirt up here and that sort of stuff. I cleaned it all off. So just clean it off really well. But also get down in here at this top section, of course, is where you're gonna see a remainder of dirt. And get in there, you know, just have a good flashlight. How do we do this? Where's the oil? Yeah, so just get in there with a good flashlight and see what you're doing, and you know, try and pull out any of that dirt that's up at this lip. And once it's clean, it should work properly. So, you know, in an ideal world, if you're gonna do a really good fixed job on this thing, unfortunately, it would be more involved. It would be a matter of draining the oil out of this thing, you know, and having new oil purchased in advance. You know, turning it upside down. I don't even know how you get that thing out of there without making a huge mess, but I guess it's a nasty job. And the only reason for taking the oil out if it's totally clean is to prevent it from dripping out of here and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, on second thought, you know, if you're willing to allow some of the stuff to drip out, it'll be that much from one. Obviously, take the other one out, you might find it would drip out less than out of this chamber. But of course, if you're gonna fix and clean one, you know, if you allow enough time, doing the second one at the same time makes sense. Okay, and what else can I tell you? Motomaster 3-ton jack. It's the low profile aluminum hybrid. Yeah, so hopefully that helps. All right, one last bit that I found here. In order to get this put back together, this bar, without unloosening this, it was tough to get this down in here, and I would have to use a hammer, and then I'd be struggling to line it up with the hole, so I really don't recommend that. So I suggest unloosening this one, and this one, so those 4 bolts, and then get a screwdriver in. This is all tight up here in this plate, so when you wedge this down in here, this will of course push this out just enough so that there'll be room to play in here. Get that thing in there where it belongs, and then tighten it and put it all back together. So again, it's the same 6-sided socket set that I used anyways. So like I said, these don't fit perfectly, but 7/32 is the size of this one, and that would fit up here. It's a little loose, but it did the job. And these 3 down here are all the same, and they are 5/16. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Holding the wrong one. 3/16 was for somewhere else. This is the 5/16 one for these guys right here. So I just wanted to mention for bleeding this, what you'll want to do before putting all the plates back in here, you can use a wide head, flat head screwdriver, undo this oil fill / bleeding port. Yeah, I just wanted to show you that if you put all this back in, of course you're gonna have to take it all back out in order to bleed it. And that's the reason why I wanted to, instead of taking this handle off, I figured I'd leave the handle on in order to fix this area in here, and just take that bar that was there off. That would allow this to come further forward to clear, so I can take the springs and the pistons out. So that was the final tidbit. And you know, watch a video. So I recommend, instead of watching my procedure, that you watch a professional procedure on bleeding it. But so if you turn the shaft and lock it over, lift it to its full height. It depends on if you're putting in new oil or not. I haven't put in new oil yet, so it'll be a little low on oil. As you can see, some dripped out while doing the job. But these guys are back in here now. They're held in place by this. So if you get it up to full height, There's full height, and then twist the handle and loosen it, let it go down. Before you do that, before you let it down, you want to crack open this bleeder, and then you'll hear the air come out. So I guess I can try this again. I don't want to waste your time. So if you don't want to hear anything about bleeding, then don't watch the end of this thing. Okay, it's all the way up. Now I've been told to undo this screw. I don't know, make sure I'm in the center. Undo it enough. You know that's enough. Okay, see if any air comes out of it. I'm going to unblock it. It's going down. Okay, the air is coming out. Okay, I don't know if that's enough or not. I'm sure I don't know if doing it twice is good or not, but I'm gonna screw this in again, tighten it up. Okay, that's tightened well enough. Now I'm gonna turn this handle again. As you can see, just in case, I haven't seen this thing apart either. Here's the mechanism when you turn the handle. Turns that shaft, right? So anyways, so now it's tightened up. This is tightened again. I'm gonna raise it again. Okay, it's all the way up. Take the screwdriver. Do that one enough. Okay, and now I'll turn this guy. See, I don't have enough experience. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep doing this until it seems like there's no air coming out. So I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna try and do this again and see if there's more air coming out. So I just wanted to update you. I went out and bought a new set of bits to properly fit the bolts on the heads of that floor jack. These ones are metric, and that's what you'll need. Blue signifies metric. The other ones from the video had red along here, and that's SAE and or Imperial. You'll need the number 5mm, 6mm, and the 8mm for that section that I was describing. And like I said, it's a hex shape. That's 6 sides right there, and then it goes to a socket. That's a 3/8 inch socket, and those fit properly